All right, welcome back to another episode of the Boys at 161st Street. I don't know what number this is. I'm just going to stop saying what number it is because who cares? We have some baseball to talk about today. We're going to talk about some minor league baseball. Well, one of the split squads was minor league. The other one that everybody watched, Juan Soto hit a home run. That was pretty cool. Spencer Jones hit a 470-foot bomb. We'll talk about that. Luis Gil looks pretty good. And I wanted to have a little conversation about the potential expansion teams that are coming to the MLB in the next year or so. But yeah, anything else you guys want to chat about before we dive on in?
Juan Soto is good at baseball.
So good.
That confirmed.
Brought a tear to my eye.
And
I'm almost 27
Yankees.
years old.
He and
27
Judge.
years old, and my eyes were watering watching that.
He and Judge also just like in the clubhouse seem to be getting along pretty well. That's always good to see. And that 2-3 or wherever they hit in the lineup, back to back in whatever order, it's gonna be scary. It's awesome,
Dude, it kind of scares me. They get along too well. It scares me that it's like fake. That they always look so happy.
Well,
I'm
I
not used
think
to
Judge
this.
is just an easy guy to be around.
Yeah,
Dude,
I think that's
when was
it.
the last
Plus,
time we
Soto
watched
is just
it?
kind of a happy-go-lucky. I feel like Soto is similar vibes to like a Devers type player, where that he just doesn't really say too much and he's just really good at hitting, and I feel like that's a very good comp. But that doesn't shock me that those two are getting along because
I'm just saying, when was the last time you watched the Yankees and they look like that? Especially if you watched last year and everybody looked like they wanted to fucking die every day, and now everybody's like laughing and high fiving and cheering
it
each
is
other
also
on.
Well, it's a new
preseason,
season.
spring training.
But dude, even 2022, it was cool for a couple months. I don't know.
I don't know. You can say that about any season. I think it's.
I'm scared, Damon. I'm scared. It's too happy, and I don't know how to handle it.
I mean,
haven't had a
it's
good
better
thing
than the
in-
alternative, obviously.
Yeah, if they wanted to kill themselves now, it'd be like, all right, well,
I'm not
back
upset
it up.
by it. I'm not upset by it. I'm just saying it's. I'm not used to this feeling. I'm always excited because I love the Yankees, but they're giving me warm, fuzzy feelings this early, and I'm scared. I don't know how to
think
be.
Jones has gotten out yet. Sorry, he just walked behind me. He was 3 for 3 the other day. I definitely saw him get a single in this game, and he just walked. So I'm pretty sure
I actually
gotten on
have this
base
up in
5 for
front of
5.
me. He's
I
2
might have
for
missed
2
an
today
at-bat.
with a walk.
Yep, there you go.
He's 2. Yeah,
So he's 5 for 5 in the spring.
it's pretty.
Let's start
pretty
there. Let's start
Can't get
there.
much better than
Honestly,
that.
hand up. I didn't know too much about Spencer Jones heading into this 470-foot home run. He made his presence known to me at least. I knew obviously the Yankees drafted him in the first round, and ever since then I probably haven't really been looking too much at the minors. But yeah, he's pretty good, huh? Judge 2.0.
It's
I'm
pretty
big dude.
embarrassing to
Aaron
say
up
you don't
baseball
know
last
anything
year.
about. We are running a Yankees podcast, and not knowing who Spencer Jones is. It's
All
like
right. To be fair, Chandler, this Yankees podcast has took a
Took a
little
hiatus
break.
for a little bit.
that's fine. But if you've watched any game, they're like, oh yeah, hey look, there's this other 6'7" dude that hits balls 900 feet.
Well,
Aaron
they
Judge
Noted highlights
2.0.
quite a bit last year. I don't know. He's exciting, and he's also. I think he stole 40 bases. He's fast.
He did.
Also, I don't know how long he'll be that fast for, but it seems like he's got that extra tool.
And he's
but
lefty.
Yeah, lefty. I mean, he's
That's
definitely
pretty
not
good.
going to come up this year, but he's somebody
Another
keep
Californian
an eye
kid
on.
too.
He'll be. I'm glad they gave him an invite because he won't be an A anymore. I think he had 260 in A ball. Bunch of bombs.
His none of his stats jump off the page from
But they don't
2023
have
in
to.
the minors. But fucking look at the dude. He's 6'7".
Right.
Hits balls 470 feet. So I don't know.
Lot
I
to
think
be
he's
excited
exciting.
about.
It creates a little bit of an interesting conversation if you do extend Juan Soto, and then you have Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Jason Dominguez, and Spencer Jones. Somebody's got to not play in the outfield there, but if that is a problem that we have in a year or 2 years from now, then fucking so be it. If our problem is that there's not enough room for another all-star, then
It's a good
smile
problem
on
to
my
have.
face.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a lot better than the days of starting fucking Ryan. Who am I thinking of? Ryan Lamar. There's another.
yeah,
there's an
I remember
outfielder.
that.
Jay Bruce started in the outfield.
The mayor of the Sun. I think he was the original person on
he
the
was
Sun.
the mayor of
He
the Sun.
was.
The Sun
I'm
Meister.
gonna find a
Enforcement
rotating
retirement.
list. Let's see. I want to find everyone who played in the outfield for the Yankees last year, and then compare that to what we have coming.
Cordero and
fucking
Frenchie.
Frenchy Cordero. I forgot about that guy.
yeah,
Jesus.
There were a lot of them last year.
What a fucking embarrassment.
Gabriel's
You're a
was a couple
$7
years
billion
ago, but-
franchise.
Yeah, no, it's a good problem to have for sure. But also, I'm usually a prospect hug guy. I was fully ready for them to give him up for a pitcher, and I was kind of okay with that. I'm very happy that didn't happen now. Because obviously I don't think Corbin Burns is going to be back to his old Corbin Burns, but, I was like, really? We're going to hold on to another guy? Like, if you have Soto for 1 year guaranteed, maybe they'll re-sign him, maybe they won't. But if they do re-sign him, they're going to have to pay him a shit ton. So it seemed like the time to give up a prospect like that. But now seeing this, I'm all right with holding on to him.
Can we talk about that for a second? I agree with you. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, if the Yankees don't sign Soto like that, to me, yeah, it's going to be an astronomical amount of money. But if there's one player in the world to give a fucking bag to, and to that he does well in the bright lights, he does better in the bright lights. So, I don't see him having an issue. I mean, his first fucking at bat, albeit it was spring training, it was a home run. Second at bat, he walks first. But either way, first game he hits a home run, opposite field. He's just a really fucking good player, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best. And he's like 24 years old, so I don't know why if they don't re-sign him. I'm just saying that's a catastrophic meltdown.
Yeah,
I think they would have by now if it wasn't for Boris. Right, Boris is his agent.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think there's one narrative that we can squash now, and that is the camp that's, we don't have to pay Soto because look at Spencer Jones.
No, I don't care how good Spencer Jones may look right now. Juan Soto is a confirmed generational talent.
They showed
if he gets
during the
out
game
of the Yankees
today,
grass, I'm upset.
During the game today, they showed players that Soto is younger than. It's like Adley Rutschman, Luis Robert,
Ronald Acuna.
No, there were some other really seemingly young guys like Josh Jung. I don't know. I wish I could remember off the top of my head or had that prepared. But there are guys that you're thinking of the next generation of baseball players, and it just seems like he's not on that list because he's been a solidified star since 2019. But he
won a World Series 3 or 4 years ago.
Right. Yeah,
and he could buy a drink legally in the United States, probably.
Judge didn't get called up until he was 25, 26. This guy's already been in the league 5 years. If you could have locked up Judge when he was 24, he would have done it.
Right.
If you knew he was
Listen
gonna be
to
that good,
this really quick.
You didn't.
These are our outfielders last year that played games. Greg Allen, Harrison Bader, Jake Bauers, who played God knows way too many fucking games.
A little bit.
No, stop.
Yes.
Jake Bauers, Oswaldo Cabrera, who got sent down, Willie Calhoun, Frenchy Cordero, Dominguez, Florial, Aaron Hicks,
Dominguez.
Judge, obviously. IKF played a pretty good amount in center field.
No, I remember when he went out there. We were
Billy
not as bad as we
McKinney.
thought.
Oh, my God. This is just a fucking travesty to look at. And then the point is, even Verdugo this year, nobody's chomping at the bit about Verdugo. It's not like he was our big prize acquisition, but you can't tell me that Verdugo's not an upgrade over fucking Jake Bauers or Billy McKinney.
I'm excited about Verdugo.
Verdugo realistically
He's
probably
fine.
isn't happening if Dominguez isn't hurt. But like you said, we're not going to have a carousel of,
fucking
degenerates
inbreds.
going through. Yeah, it's going to be, by the time Dominguez comes back, unless something terrible happens in the meantime, it's going to be some combination of Verdugo, Judge, Soto, Dominguez in the outfield.
I could see him flipping Verdugo in the summer once Dominguez gets back healthy and flipping Verdugo for some back end bullpen arm or something.
Could be. But also Stanton's got an injury history. He's still somebody worth holding on to and getting into the rotation because, God only knows what's going to happen by the time Dominguez comes back. But you're right. I could see them maybe doing that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's he's a solid outfielder. He's going to play a lot of games, and he is better than anything we had last year.
It's got a rocket
especially
on.
when Judge went down. Last year when Judge went down, we were starting fucking infielders, minor leaguers, fucking just draw names out of a hat.
Aaron Hicks.
So, again,
There's
I said,
no
minor
reason to have-
leaguers.
We have that depth. We might as well use it, right?
Yeah, I mean, he does. I say I'm excited about him, but I say that for the reason that he's better than those names that you're listing right now, and like he does the things that he's not a superstar in anything, but he doesn't swing. His K percentage is in the 80th percentile, whiff percentage 94th, like those chase rate 85th. Those are great, and his arm strength is 95. Like he does some of those ancillary things very well, and he's not going to swing and miss a bunch. Like that's all you can really ask for. I mean, he's coming on the heels of his predecessors that actually were the opposite of all of those stats, had a noodle arm and swung at everything. So as long as he's not, like we said in the last episode, like an automatic out, I think we're in a good spot for some. And he could be a nice lefty leadoff like he did in the game today. Like he hit a nice double, and they said in the broadcast that he's a doubles machine. I don't remember that, but I guess if he's a doubles machine, that's pretty fucking cool.
He had 37 doubles last year, 39 the year before that. Like he gives you stability, which we have not had in years, and we might not. We'll see what happens. But like at face value, that's one thing that sticks out about this roster is that there's actual, for the first time in God knows how long, we have stability. We have everyday starters. Like it's not just a bunch of platoon guys that you glue together and hope for the best. And I am fucking ecstatic to not have to watch. Like it was anybody's guess last year who was going to start on any given day, and I mean even back to when we were doing this in 2022, like it was a running joke of what is Boone going to pull out of his hat today? So
that's a good point.
I mean, to me, you have a bona fide 9 starters. The only position that might platoon is catcher of Wells and Trevino, while you're getting Wells broken into the big leagues.
And to be honest, I hope it is a platoon between those two. I think that's a better mix than just saying, hey, Wells, it's your job, because he's probably not ready for that, at least defensively. Maybe offensively he is. And then on the other side, Trevino can do it. He can have stretches where he can hit the crap out of the ball, and then he can have stretches where he comes back down to earth, but he's always going to be a good defensive catcher. And like we've said before, that's the only reason. Like that's the one thing I would ask for in a catcher, and that's why having him and Higgy in years past was great for us, because that was like it was very topical in the moment because we were talking about getting rid of Gary. So like all we wanted was somebody who could be an automatic out at the catcher position, because we have hitters all throughout the rest of the lineup, and a guy who is just competent at catcher. So
you talk about Higgy, seeing him in a Padres uniform stung a little bit.
I just saw Wandy in the Padres jersey too, and it just looks weird.
Yeah,
Michael King. Ugh. I didn't like Michael King in the Padres jersey.
That Michael King got moved. And I feel bad saying
he was
that.
the headliner.
Yeah.
I know he was, and that's why I was like, damn, like I don't know, it felt like we didn't give up much for Soto, because I'm like, yeah, all right, Burrito's gone, like, whatever. And then they mentioned on the broadcast today during the spring game, like, Michael King, and I obviously knew Michael King was doing that deal, but it just kind of reminded me, I was like, damn, we could have really still used him. Obviously worth it, but...
Yeah, obviously worth it.
Like, that's...
I was looking at pitcher rankings coming into this year. I forget where it was, but he was number 30, and I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. It's warranted. He's very fucking good, but we never thought of him as that guy until like about when he was traded. He was always like, oh wow, this guy's pretty good. Like he can be the Chad Green jackknife kind of guy, and then he works his way into the rotation, that kind of thing. Like it's kind of wild that he's now the 30th ranked going into the season among all of this, like the starting pitchers.
Don't you ever say Chad Green.
Chad Green when he was good. I meant Chad
tough.
Green in the sense that Chad Green, when he was nasty, was going to go multiple innings and can do that. And if your starter blows it in the beginning of a game, I'm not saying Chad Green when he sucked. I'm saying Chad Green when he was, because there was a time when Chad Green was great.
Yeah. Speaking of Sun guys, that's a guy we left off, Chad Green, when we were talking about it last week.
Where is he now?
He was a Blue Jay last year.
Yeah, he was on Toronto.
Yep, that's what I was asking. The important questions only.
Yeah, I think he's still on the Blue Jays. Yeah, he is. I was going to say, I think he just absolutely fucking diced us up last year, if I remember correctly, which is not shocking. It was the most inevitable thing ever that he was going to come back and turn into 2017 naturally. Chad Green. But
yeah,
so was Wandy.
He had a... Oh, wait, no. That was his FIP. I was going to say, wow, 2.67. That's not bad at all. Yeah, he did not have a good year last year. So he had better years with the Yankees every year with the Yankees.
He's coming off Tommy John last year.
Yeah,
but for some reason I thought he was good.
No.
Dude,
this was a very hot-button issue for us. Like, when we were like I said, like 2 years ago, this was one of our most hot button issues. Was like how fucking unreliable Chad Green is.
Yeah, because
We had a whole 30-minute segment about all of his clutch statistics on Baseball Reference. Like, he's not a clutch player. He's not a good bullpen arm.
Oh, they gave him a 2-year club option.
You want to talk about the bullpen real quick and do a top of the dome trust tree where you stand right now?
The bullpen has like 4 names that are the same from last year.
Okay.
If that. So like it's kind of tough to do.
I mean, it's something we definitely should talk about. Like,
I mean, yeah.
One
But
thing
we don't
I'm
even know
excited.
who's
I'm
gonna
excited
be in
about.
there.
I'm excited about Luis Heel. Like, he was pumping 97, 98.
Yeah.
He started their first game, struck out 4 or 5 people. I mean, he looked good. I think he gave up a run or 2, but like whatever. He looked, for not throwing in a year and a half. He looks pretty fucking good. I forgot how good he was, and like obviously he wasn't gonna win a Cy Young or anything, but when he came up, everybody, us included, like, whoa, this kid's pretty
Brian
fucking
Hoke
exciting.
is projecting. He's projecting Clay Holmes, Scott Efros, Victor Gonzalez, Ian Hamilton, Tommy Kahnle, Loizaga, Marinaccio, and Luke Weaver.
Efros is on the 60-day IL.
Yeah, so that is not going to happen. So let's say, actually, that kid, who's that kid, the lefty that pitched today? I don't know if any of you guys watched the game.
Ramirez?
He looked pretty good.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't with an
Nick
M.
Ramirez.
I don't know. He looked pretty good.
Mishwitz?
Yes. Thank you.
Actually?
I think so.
All right.
I don't know.
Kind of crazy.
I don't know
That's
if he's
something
even
that
in there,
we didn't see
but-
coming. Ron Marinaccio got sent down last year. You think he'll rebound?
Hope so.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll make the roster, honestly.
That would suck.
Also tough.
That's coming off of us talking about him being the next closer. Right? Chandler at least was pumping the tires of him, and he looked pretty fucking good. Yes, you did.
I pumped the tires of him. I didn't say he was the next closer.
You said they could be grooming him to be the next closer.
collectively-
I said that for Loizaga.
No, we definitely collectively as
You
a
also
podcast said
said
he was going to be the next
Marinaccio.
closer at some point.
We definitely talked about
Marinaccio was
a lot
awesome.
about that.
I'm not saying you were wrong, but I'm just saying it's fall from grace.
Chandler, there was
Yes.
definitely a time where you thought he was the best reliever in our bullpen. There's no way.
There is.
Like in terms
100%.
of reliability, that's what we were talking. In that conversation, you said he was number 1, and I didn't
He was
disagree.
for a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, I don't
crazy.
think anybody
Him and Michael
disagreed
King
with
were 1A and 1B. Like, and then he just kind of died. I don't know.
him. Ooh, Caleb.
Hopefully he comes back.
So,
We're just playing the name game right now.
no, I'm
much.
looking
Everybody's
at
just
like who
name a
could
reliever you
possibly
like.
be in the relievers.
I'm excited for Kahnle. I know Kahnle just in general as a locker room presence. I'm not sure if you guys have been seeing the social media clips, but like they were doing the thing of like who would you least likely want to sit next to on a plane, and everybody said Kahnle. Like I feel like he's one of those people that even if he doesn't, if he's not the Kahnle of old that we've had in the just on the field, just as a locker room guy, he's a really good one. He's what Murph was basically saying Sessa was back in the day, but times a million.
Yeah, I don't
I'd also
really
like
know
him
if
to be
Sessa
good,
was
though.
even as much as
Yeah, no, I would like him to be good too because of
Like-
all the names you listed out. Like we need him to be good to have the bullpen not be an issue.
But
He's
I
just
also
barely
think that these
pitched.
guys, like the 2 we got from the Dodgers, Gonzalez and now I can't remember who the other guy was, the other reliever. But anyway, I think Victor Gonzalez is supposed to be
Beater?
pretty good. Nah, we got Beater for
said
like
Beater?
Gallo, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
But also from I don't know. Like it seemed like we were bringing in some pretty decent relievers, and if there's anything I can give Cashman credit for, the only thing I'll give Cashman credit for is figuring out the bullpen. He always is bringing in
I'll
somebody.
give him a little credit for Juan Soto.
That's true.
that little guy we added this year.
Well, yeah, but
I'm
like-
excited for Jonathan Loizaga. I think Jonathan
Yeah.
Loizaga, if he can come back and he can be back to form, because I know he spent most of last year hurt, or he kind of was a victim of soft contact, it felt like. But when he was on the field, he was pretty ineffective, and he was hurt most of the year. If he can return to 2021, 2022 and be a dominant dude throwing 100 out of the bullpen, like, I mean, he's your setup man behind Clay Holmes, ideally. If he's right,
He
and
and
if that's a
Canley.
pretty dominant 1-2 punch, if they have that, the bullpen will be just fine. Because I trust Canley in the 7th, I trust Loaizaga in the 8th if he's healthy, and Clay Holmes has been just a model of consistency for the most part. He's had a few blow up months, but he's been pretty damn good for the last couple years.
I
So
feel like we have
if
been
we
saying-
can get that back 3, that's pretty fucking special, and we'll be okay.
I
agree.
mean, just
But we've been saying
looking
that
at
every year.
his. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
His
what I was about to
last
say,
2
too.
And the
years.
bullpen's been a strength every year.
No, I agree. No, I meant about Loaizaga like returning to form. Like we're talking about his like 2019 form.
No,
No,
2021.
we're talking about
2021, he was
2022 and
nasty.
2021.
Wasn't that?
2021, I'm looking at his stats right now. He was in the 99th percentile in just about everything.
Okay, so it's 2021. But it feels like that's been 3 years in a row then.
Yeah, but the last 2
spring
years,
trainings in a
22
row.
and 23, he's pitched a collective 48 and 17 innings in those 2
Right.
years.
Well,
he really
that's
hasn't
48
pitched-
innings for a reliever is a decent amount.
I know, and that's not terrible. But the year before that, in 21, he pitched 70.2.
Phew.
And so talk about the sample size too. The 70.2 innings, and he was in the 99th percentile in just about every fucking
You know
statistic.
who else we didn't mention? Sorry, I hate to like completely pivot back to the outfield, but we didn't even mention Trent Grisham.
Yeah, let's talk about it. He's not
I
much,
mean,
but
no, but just with that outfield stability.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a name. Here's what it is.
I knew it.
He's a bona fide name in the outfield. Not bona fide, maybe, but he's a MLB name in the outfield. So if shit were to hit the fan, we could throw him out there versus like Ryan Lamar. Like that's what I'm liking about that. And Trent Grisham, like during that time when the Padres were like the Slam Diego Padres, he was playing pretty fucking well back then too. So I think
He's a
he
good
gives
fielder,
you
you know?
a good field. He gives you good lefty at bat. Not saying pinch hit, but like he's a known commodity in the MLB. So
He's only 27. So, like, there's still some in the tank there. Maybe they can unlock something. Maybe there's something he can find with the short porch there. He's not going to get enough playing time, I don't think.
So I was about to say,
I
yeah.
hope to.
I was about to say,
God
I hope he like is a solidified bench guy / emergency at bat.
I think
if we
his
absolutely need
ceiling,
him.
his absolute ceiling, which would involve injuries to get to this point, would be like a Bader. That's the best he can be, because he's coming in as like a serviceable outfielder, and maybe he catches a little fire with the bat here and there, and maybe he comes up clutch here or there. I don't know. I think that's the absolute best he could possibly be is Bader.
it's pretty good.
I think that's
it's a pretty good
fair.
comp. I think that's fair. And if he is that, then that's great. I think
I'd
he's.
say a lefty Bader with a little more pop.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Bader was kind of Babe Ruth for a minute there. I don't know.
For like 6 games, enough.
In
Oh
the
my
playoffs,
God.
though, when it mattered.
All the time, he was like, I don't know.
Speaking of Bader, have you seen him since he
Oh.
went to the Mets? He's got the fucking ginger
The
beard
ginger
going.
beard, yeah.
Man,
He
the
looks-
poor
he
Mets.
He looks like a
Yeah.
lost puppy.
He looked
The Mets.
good without the beard. I don't know why he went back to.
Well, he had
have it.
the flowing hair when he was with the Cardinals, and he just looked great. And then he
I
looked,
miss
he
him.
looked good
I
Cooper
want
Cup
him.
too. And now it's just like he kind of looks like, if I'm remembering right, kind of looks like Cooper Cup a little bit, but not in a good
A little
way.
bit. A lot of bit, actually, yeah. Like Walmart,
He
Cooper
looks
Cup.
like
Yeah.
he walked so Brendan Donovan could run. And
Yeah.
for the Cardinals, they look the exact same with
I
the long
every
curly
year
hair.
I
and-
absolutely love the Cardinals, and then they're just really not as good as I thought they were going to be. But
On paper,
Same
they
with the
look
Yankees.
amazing every year. Yeah, they're exactly like the Yankees, except in
they're
the
the National League Yankees.
I agree. Oh well.
I
But yeah,
kinda
no,
like
back to
Brandon
the
Donovan.
bullpen. I feel like it'll come together. Right now, it's just a lot of names that I don't really know much about.
I think they're going to be just
I
fine.
think it's
Like,
a good
I-
thing, though. I feel like
Yeah.
not knowing the people, I feel like those, I don't know. I feel like a lot of superstars that are in our bullpen right now were once people we were just like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
Remember Clay Holmes?
Perfect
Like,
example, Clay
you know,
Holmes,
Yeah.
right? Like, who the fuck is Clay Holmes? So
That video is all time.
Arnott
Yeah.
When we all reacted to the trade for Clay Holmes, because we were expecting to get who was it at the time we wanted to get?
it was no, we traded away Park. We were like,
Yeah.
so upset
And
about that.
Chandler was like, "Hoy Park's awesome."
yeah, like, I can't believe we traded away Hoy Park.
No, but I think we wanted a bigger move. Who did we want at the time?
I can't remember.
I don't
to
even
pick a
remember.
name with every
Yeah, I
trade
know.
deadline we
Every
want a
big
good
name
pitcher.
reliever.
It was really funny. But
Yeah.
yes,
Maybe it was David Bednar, honestly.
yeah, he was on the
wasn't even
market.
there yet. Like
He-
was
that was
there,
the
but he
next
wasn't,
year, I
like,
think.
That good yet? I think it was the year before that even.
Yeah.
It was something.
But
yeah.
Either way, like the point being, I trust the Yankees to, if they can do one thing right, it's find some diamonds in the rough in the bullpen and make them bona fide studs. So
That's a good
I
point,
think we might not know right now who the stars of this bullpen will be. It might just be, A, B, C random guy that end up being nasty. So
Yeah.
and I don't want to bank on that, but I think there's enough of a sample size that we have seen.
So I was expecting to have a little more news on Blake Snell by the time we recorded today. Is that
Seems like all bad news by now.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like the other day, it seemed inevitable, and now I'm like, but now I really still can't decide whether I'd be happy if we signed him or not. Like, yes, I would be.
I would. What do you mean?
I mean, I'd be happy.
It's
No,
not your
I'd be
money.
happy
Who
if
fuck
we,
cares?
let me correct myself. I'd be happy if we signed him, but once it was like, I'm not as disappointed as I thought I was going to be. I don't know why. Can't really explain it.
What do you mean you're
It
not
had
as
to do with our
disappointed?
Nestor and Clark Schmidt conversation.
I think
from
I'm
last
just
episode.
tired of hearing the buzz about it. Like at this point, I'm just kind of over it. And
That's true.
I think that the Yankees need another starter, and like Blake Snell would be awesome. I'm kind of over thinking about it. I'm kind of over the rotating headlines of the Yankees love Blake Snell. The Yankees don't want him. The Yankees want him now. They want him short term. No, they don't. They want a potential long term. They don't want him at all. Like I'm over it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Now they want Dylan Cease again. Like today, now that's their new shiny toy that
would like
they're
him.
just really on the hunt for. But I don't believe that either. I think we're going to go into the season with what we have, and I hope it sticks. But we have a lot of young, exciting starters. So
I agree. And anything more than what we go into as it stands today is like a cherry on top. That would be nice. That's a good mentality to have, I think, going into it, because if you don't, you're probably going to be disappointed. But I mean, Judge says that there's going to be another move, so he hasn't
just
lied
like
to
Hal
us in
said,
the
there would
past.
be another move last year.
Yep. But Hal didn't say this. I trust Judge more than I do Hal, when inevitably Hal's obviously the one that needs to sign off on the deal, so he could be speaking out of school, but I don't know why. Having him say that makes me feel like it actually is going to
Well,
happen.
it adds more like it makes it seem more real when a player
players want it,
Yeah, when
yeah.
the players are actually hyping up and saying, because that means that information is coming through the grapevine, and
Yeah.
they might know something. They might not say exactly who it is. They might not even know that either, but there's definitely moves in the works that are trying to be done before.
And guys like
opening
Judge
day.
are probably also
Like, part of the
trying to
conversation.
trying to recruit guys like Snell. Like I'm sure he has a good relationship with everybody, so
Yeah.
he'd be a good recruiting guy. I mean, yeah.
I think that in the whole recruiting process, going back to Soto, I mean, like Judge and the team is going to be huge in convincing Soto that he wants to stay in New York afterwards too.
Yeah.
That's all
And
they've
to-
been talking about.
Yeah, to be honest, like it's kind of crazy that a team that didn't make the playoffs in a prior year is looking as sexy of a landing spot as it is right now because of one guy, and that's just a credit to how fucking awesome Soto is. And then you have a guy in Judge who obviously is the captain. He won MVP the prior year, or the 2 years ago, and then Garrett Cole. Like it's still, because it's so good on paper, it's just a little wild to me that it's like this is still a premier landing spot for everybody, and I don't know. That's just doesn't seem like it would be the case with every other team that missed the playoffs.
I was looking through our Instagram earlier today, and I saw the ALCS roster that we were going up against the Astros in 2022, and like even that roster, like this is night and day better. Like Bader, Cabrera, Matt Carpenter, Josh Donaldson, Higgy, like, obviously like Judge and them, but Tim LeCastro, IKF.
Don't you shit on Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter was literally Barry Bonds for
For a month.
until he
Then
got
when
hurt. If he was still healthy, I think he'd still
This
be
was
kicking it.
post-injury. He couldn't fucking walk when he was on
Yeah,
the
he-
ALCS roster.
he
The point I'm
literally
trying to
came
make is
back.
look at our roster now.
I know. I'm
Came
just
back
saying.
like September 28th.
I remember
like,
being
I
at your
remember-
house, Murphy. We were at your house watching that.
I
and
remember that, too.
like it's imprinted in my brain, that graphic that was on the TV when Matt Carpenter was up, and it was like, it was literally comparing him to like Barry Bonds. It was
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
the stretch that he was on, and it's just wild that. I don't know. I just don't like the disrespect to Matt Carpenter because that was a very cool time out. I'm gonna find that graphic too. Continue.
I'm disrespecting Matt Carpenter. I'm just using that to make a point that this year's roster with the Verdugo and even, like you said, down to Grisham, hey, we have depth and we have solid baseball players for the first time in a while. So if they can stay even remotely healthy, I sounded kind of pessimistic when we talked last time, but I'm talking myself into it more and more. Like, I feel pretty fucking good about this team if they stay healthy. Oh, I found it. It's Matt Carpenter, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, and Babe Ruth.
Oh, I found this thing. We made a tick pick. But Matt Carpenter, before discovering tick pick, he was batting 169, 3 home runs, and 21 RBIs. And after discovering tick pick with the Superman cape on, and in 2022, he was 354, 13 home runs, 34 RBIs, and that was probably in like 5 games. Bring back Matt Carpenter. And also, funny enough, just a trip down memory lane, the next post to the left of that was a video clip of us talking about trading for Soto. So, kind of look to how far we've come. That's really fun.
Trent Grisham, I guess, said that he took advice from Matt Carpenter on playing in the Bronx.
Well,
he
hopefully
knows a thing or
listens,
two. So
I'd say it worked out pretty well for Mr. Matt Carpenter as far as reviving the career goes.
That's what I'm saying.
that graphic that you were talking about, Chandler, the one thing, too, is those names, these are all names, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, and Matt Carpenter, of Yankees history, players to have games of 7+ RBIs in a season. multiple games of 7+ RBIs in a season.
Yeah,
And
did it like
in a
2
season,
weeks.
it was in like 2 weeks. So
We
it
went
was
scorched
crazy.
earth for like. Well, I saw something that's like name stuff that was like a Linsanity takeover moment, except for Jeremy Lin, and I didn't even think of Matt Carpenter at the time, but that would be a pretty good one.
Here's another one, too. Matt Carpenter. Not to just go on Matt Carpenter forever. This is my last stat on him, but Matt Carpenter through his first 28 games of 2022, 338 batting average, 11 home runs, 24 RBIs, a 1.319 OPS. Barry Bonds through his first 28 games of 2000, which is one of his best years, was 284 batting average, 11 home runs, 22 RBIs, 1.08 OPS versus 1.3. Makes you think a little bit. So,
Okay, well, talking about Yankees that aren't 45 and had a 2-month awesome skid in
well, he retired
the middle
too,
of
so we can't
2022.
even, I mean, maybe he comes out of retirement.
I think Anthony Volpe looked pretty good the other day, and all these clips of Anthony Volpe, his little swing tweaks and his bat path adjustments and everything, I'm pretty excited. I don't know, like, the person who loves DJ LeMahieu in me doesn't want him to be taken over as the leadoff hitter. Just he's done such a good job for so long, like winning batting titles, damn near won an MVP hitting out of the leadoff spot. But yeah, you can't tell me the idea of Volpe hitting there isn't a little exciting.
The future is now, old man.
Yeah.
DJ was great, but I think it's, and I'm not saying this can happen right now, but I think, like we were saying last year, which I think was a little premature, Volpe probably, in my mind, at the midway point past All-Star break, I would expect to be leading off or at least moving up in the lineup a little bit. But
if he takes the natural next step, he should be up there. Yeah.
But again, like I said on the last episode, I feel like Verdugo might be a good fit there too.
Wait, I'm sorry. We're talking about Volpe taking over for DJ?
Lead off.
Because who's playing third in this situation?
DJ's playing third. He's
DJ
our
was
starting
still-
third baseman.
He
No,
could-
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Be
I
batting
thought you were
order.
implying that. Never
No,
mind.
no one's.
I
These
must-
are
I
three
must have
names that are
misunderstood
all
what
in
we
the
were saying.
lineup already. We're just messing
Yeah,
with
I
you.
thought
already.
you meant taking over DJ as in like DJ's getting bumped if he's in there.
No.
My
I'm just.
understanding.
This is such a good problem to have too, that we have 3 legitimate leadoff hitters. Like
Yeah.
again, look back and over the last few years, it's DJ LeMahieu or you're forcing Gleyber Torres in the leadoff spot down our throat, or Anthony Rizzo, or Judge, or Luke Voigt. Like, there's so many people that have hit leadoff that had no fucking business being there. Now we have options, and that again, you want to look for something to be excited about. We have options. There's diversity in this lineup. It's not just, like Luke said, power hitters, strikeout guys. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty pumped. I wouldn't even be upset about Verdugo.
It's a balanced
leading leadoff.
lineup.
I think I would like Verdugo leading off. I don't know
I think
why.
you just convinced yourself that.
I mean,
'cause it's,
knowing
like,
Boone-
trendy and off the wall.
It's not trendy and off the wall. I mean, we've got a lot of looks at him because when he was on the Red Sox, I just think he's I don't know, maybe I'm being a prisoner of the moment, and maybe I'm just overly optimistic because he's a new person in the lineup, but I think I mean, Judge said today about him too, which I kind of agree with. He's a kind of a gamer. Like we always, at least I kind of hated him for that reason when he was on the Red Sox because he would always. Yeah, he was another Boston guy who would cheer and scream and this and that, and he was wearing the chains or whatever. Like, now that he's on our team, like the shoes on the different foot, you know.
Not that he's really that similar to Johnny Damon, but like there aren't a lot of comparisons I can go with. All I'm saying is the sentiment that I felt when he came over was the same.
I don't hate that comparison.
Johnny Damon when he came to the Yankees,
and
he was
sloppy
a
Red
much better
Sox
player, but still, like I was not thrilled that we were getting Verdugo. I never cared for him. He still has to show me something before I start to like him. But I am glad he's on the roster. He fills a needed spot for sure. But yeah,
it's
I was not
kind of fair.
Yeah,
that's a good comparison. I was laughing at you at first, but the more I think about it, like that's
I just
not
didn't
a bad
hate
comparison
Ellsbury
at all.
I didn't hate Ellsbury as much as I hated Damon. So like
that's because Ellsbury didn't do anything. He had
Right.
the personality of a fucking stump. Like.
I mean, I hated him once he got here because he didn't do
Rich
anything.
Oh
bitch.
yeah, me too.
But when he came, I was excited.
But like Verdugo was the perfect anti-Yankee. Like he had the big nasty beard and
he looked like a Red Sox. Like that was a Red Sox.
Yeah, he was
ginger
sloppy
beard
and jawy and just.
You also
fucking,
don't see like chains and tattoos like that on the Yankees as much in Boston.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little like more lax.
Like you look at him.
I mean,
and
it's
like
a different day and age,
Justin
but-
Turner. Like a Justin Turner with the big red beard. Like
Yeah.
that's a person from Boston. We have a lot of Boston friends, and they don't look like that, but I know they have friends that look like that, and that's like what a Boston. Like they work construction.
That's
was
your
gonna
cousin
say.
from Boston right there.
Yeah, your cousin
Yeah.
from Boston. He's doing construction in between innings, and then he comes out and he's with his big Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and like that's who he is, and I think
They
that's what I
built
like. What?
They built their own ballpark.
Yeah. Just a bunch of blue collar, or they call themselves blue collar. But one thing, just to put a button on Verdugo, is like not every player has to be a superstar, and he can just fill a role, and that's exactly what I want out of him. And that's why I'm excited. So
Also-
don't hear what I'm not saying. Like I'm excited for what role he's gonna have.
I do think that this year's team has a little bit of a different feel in terms of like, you know, the whole like, is he a Yankee kind of deal. Like they've brought in some guys that I wasn't quite sure in the traditional sense are the Stromans of the world. You know, Verdugo,
Thank God.
Stroman, and we needed them. And I think it's a different feel of the team, and we needed a shakeup like that. And I think it's a welcome thing. And I don't think anybody's even a little bit upset about it. So
Yeah,
it's
we
awesome.
talked about
the
that so
traditional
much
Yankee
last
way
year.
hasn't fucking worked in 20
Right.
years. Like
It's just
do
I don't know. I
something
think it's a new
different.
feel. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
it's like
spunky.
watching the. It's like every time we watch Braves games, I'm always so jealous that their team just looks like they're having so much fun. They all have like their swagger about them. I'm just like watch the Yankees, and they're just so boring.
They're so
that's
what
polished.
Juan
They
Soto
know
Soto
the
was
game.
on.
Like I want someone get angry, someone do something, someone get excited.
And that's kind of
You
the
know?
fault of Judge, is that he's so fucking good, but he never will like show his emotions
Yeah.
or do anything like Soto would. Soto will literally grab his nuts. He did it in a spring training game today already, so it's nice to watch that kind of fire. And I know that's what Verdugo has. Like he's gotten in fights with people in the left field stands before at Yankee Stadium. Like, yeah, like, just start fighting people.
new
Like, I know we've
Yankee
had
way,
that
let's just start some
conversation.
fights.
Yeah, let's just be scumbags. Like everybody already hates Yankee fans. Like let's just have them be the team that everybody hates, like the Pistons back in the day. Like I want some people to just fucking. And I don't really watch basketball that much, so tell me if that was a good reference or not. But I think
that
it
is
was
a good reference.
Okay, good. Probably I'll cut that
Somebody
part out.
watched The Last Dance recently.
Yeah, I watched The Last
but-
Dance. Cut that part out. Now leave it in. But yes,
but I think that-
I agree.
They're also all going to feed off each other, especially. I think that with Juan Soto's presence, Verdugo, Stroman, you know, hopefully he'll light a spark that's going to accelerate and it's going to motivate other members to just kind of like get some swagger into them as well.
Yeah, and it's
Dare I
like
say it unlocks a new level of Aaron Judge that can kind of just hang out, have fun? A less business-like Aaron Judge? I don't think so. I think that's just who he is.
No.
But
Yeah.
No,
I think-
but I think
I
you
wanna
he'll
spin a
welcome
play
narrative
looser,
here.
you
I
play
think it'll-
better.
Yeah. I don't think he's
Yeah,
gonna start
I mean-
grabbing crotch, but yeah, I think he'll open.
No.
He'll be open to it.
Judge will always be the Jeter of that team. So if you want to talk about a Johnny Damon coming in and being that guy, like those guys did not make Jeter more of a dick. He just kept being
Yeah.
himself.
You need someone level-headed.
Yeah, whatever.
The rest
Keep the rest
is
of
gonna
them
be
in
dicks.
mind.
What other nut jobs are there on the market? I want to go get, I want to get the craziest motherfuckers out there.
I know we have some crazy
Yeah,
motherfuckers. They
Can we trade for Karinchak? Like,
Yeah,
get
that's
him
who
the
we
bullpen.
need. Like, we need some kind of, like, I mean, Canley's that.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say
Kane's
Canley.
batshit crazy.
We need to get that new guy from the Rangers who's just like fighting everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Remple?
Rempy?
Rempy?
Ren and Stimpy. You remember that show?
No.
No. Just me?
No.
Okay.
1 for 2 with
It
references.
was a cartoon back in the
Matt
day.
Rempy. That's who
Matt
we
Rempy.
need.
Yeah, we need Matt Rempy. Just fucking
I would love
light
to
a
see
spark.
him getting rowdy.
That's a
I mean,
big
Stroman,
dude.
too. Stroman's like that. Did you see that video, speaking of Stroman, of Garrett Cole doing the bullpen and Stroman just like
Yeah, that was awesome.
doing a double take? And he's
Wearing
like, damn.
his
He's like,
2004 Yankees shirt.
yeah. That's another thing. Like I know we've already talked about that, but he's like still doing that. He's like so happy to be a Yankee, or he's doing his best like Spirit Halloween impression of a Yankee fan. It's amazing.
I kind of love it, honestly.
I do
I think
too.
it was Carabas or somebody, some like Red Sox like Barstool type guy, did have a good comment to that, and it was like, "Oh yes, my favorite Yankees team," because it was in 2004. I was like, "Oh fuck," that was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh, good,
But other than
good
that,
stuff.
it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited. It's like today turning on spring training felt I've never felt as excited in probably over a year. Even going into the year before last year, into 2022, like I didn't feel this excited.
Well, 2022 had a
but it tightens the shorts a
2020
little bit.
It tightens the shorts. Pants 10.
2022 had just kind of like there was just a dark cloud over it because of the Judge contract negotiations, and couldn't even really enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
everybody got hurt. Judge single-handedly carried that team to, he broke the AL home run record, but still at the back of everyone's mind, like, oh, are they going to pay him? Who knows? And then Brian Cashman's like on a fucking media tour, like, fuck him, we don't even need him. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, all right,
yeah,
whatever,
this year
man.
we've made our move. Everything else is on top of the
Yeah,
cake.
but even this, like, we don't know if Soto's gonna be locked up. But I don't know why. But for some reason, I don't feel as nervous as I do at Judge situation because of, like you said, what Cashman was saying. And I feel like the general sentiment around Soto is like, of course we're going to re-sign him. It's just a matter of what number. And I say that, and I'm not. I hope that doesn't become bulletin board and like it comes out and I look like an idiot. But I say that because if that does not happen, I have lost all faith in this. Like, there is no one else in the world, probably in the next 20 years, that you ever should give the bag to, other than Juan Soto. Like, I would.
well,
Who?
at the end of the day, like, if he doesn't, like, he has to want to be here too, and like that's the thing with Aaron
Right.
Judge, and I think why it's different. If he left, he was a homegrown superstar that loved New York, that we just like publicly showed our ass and like made a spectacle out of when it was he wanted to be there and we drove him away. Like Juan Soto, he's here for a year. I'm taking it at that. I think we should. I think it makes way too much sense. But at the end of the day, he has to want to be here. He has to enjoy New York, and I think he will. And I do
hope
think
so.
he'll ultimately end up signing here long term. But if he doesn't, like, this part of why it feels different too. Like, it feels like an all-in year. The Yankees haven't had an all-in year in a long time. Like, they've kind of played that bullshit game of, we kind of want to dip our toe into compete. Like, we want to be good, but we don't care if we're great. Like, if we make the playoffs and sell tickets, fine. It feels like this year, some sort of fire was lit. It was like, all right, we got Juan Soto. We're going all in. That's why I still think a move for maybe not Snell, but another big ticket pitcher might be in the works. I'm not holding my breath, but it wouldn't shock me. And it wouldn't shock me if they do something crazy at the deadline either, if they miss out on a pitcher now, because it feels like an all-in year. And that's part of what makes it so exciting. I think that's why the vibe and the energy around the team is so much different compared to normal.
And I think the all-in year is because Soto is on a one-year deal currently. Like, if he had been locked up already, then they could be like, we could just push all our chips in any of the next, like, name your year in the next 8 years of his whatever his extension is going to be, and having him on that one-year deal, like, there is no guarantee that he's going to be on the team next year. So if you're the Yankees front office, Brian Cashman and everybody else, like, you know that, like, if there's a deadline to go in on other people, if there's a free agent to add for 1 year, like a Blake Snell, like this is the year to do that because you have no fucking clue what the next couple of years are going to be.
Are we talking Montgomery here? If not Snell?
Montgomery, I think
Do we call that a win,
Jack
though?
Curry said on the broadcast today that Montgomery and Snell are not happening.
Okay, yeah, like I don't know if I necessarily think Montgomery would be much more.
He'd be fine.
Like it'd be fine, but like
It's pitching depth. I think people are going to get hurt, so if he's there,
that's the
then
thing.
you
It
know
seems
you at
like a
least have
depth
people.
move. Like not
Which
that
is
he's
fine.
not good, but I don't know.
I'd rather that than run out, you need like 7 or 8 pitchers ready to go for a full MLB season. And especially with the team that has Rodon coming off an injury and other people that have had injury history. So I think if you don't prepare for the worst.
Montgomery was pretty goddamn good
No,
last year.
yeah, that's why I'd be happy about it. And we know he can pitch in the Bronx too, so it's like not even like a Frankie Montas or Sonny Gray situation.
Man, would have been really cool if Montas worked out. Huh?
Yeah, that would have been sick.
I love the idea of Dylan Cease, by the way. I don't think I would trade Spencer Jones either, but I love the idea of getting Dylan Cease around Matt Blake. I love the idea of if he can learn to locate his pitches and not walk like fucking 15 dudes a game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Cy Young contender instantly. So add that. I think adding a guy who his stats show he's more of a middle tier starter, but if you unlock the ace level potential and you add that behind Garrett Cole, who we know is a Cy Young, and you add that behind Carlos Rodon, who hopefully he fucking bounces back, and Marcus Stroman and Nestor Cortez and Clark Schmidt, like the sky's the limit.
Agreed.
Like,
shorts are definitely tight. Good conversations. I like what we brought to the table today. Just kind of a open forum state of the Yankees situation. One thing I want to talk about before we jump out of here because I have to run. The expansion teams. Just quickly, what teams do you think, or what teams would you like? What cities would you like to see have expansion? I think Nashville was a good one. I think that'd be fun.
basically a foregone
I
conclusion
think that
from
is,
what I've
yeah.
heard.
Yeah, I saw, and all the comments on that post that I saw was all like Nashville's done. So what other team? What are the cities you
Carolinas,
think?
north or south, like a
That's
Charlotte
what I was
Raleigh.
going to say.
Charleston.
No, Charlotte.
The Charleston.
Charlotte
No,
Raleigh.
it can't be Charleston because it's good. They have the River Dogs, right?
Yeah, and they have the Charleston Stingrays, the
Too
minor
much
league hockey
competition.
team. So yeah,
Can't do that.
Yeah, I think the Carolinas would be a good fit. I think Vegas, but if the A's, I honest to God have no fucking idea what's going on there. It changes like every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they
So-
played inside of the Sphere?
I don't know if you know how shape.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I know how it works.
Let's see. What
Maybe
other
they should call up the
cities?
Savannah Bananas.
See if they wanted to
Yeah.
make the jump.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I feel like Nashville, and then you're gonna look at. I think we basically hit all of them. I don't know.
Wyoming.
I'm kind of interested to see how it works. Do you guys know how that works? Like adding another team, like
No
as
idea.
far
If
as
you add
expansion
one, the
drafts and
NHL
shit.
just did this. If you add
Yeah.
one, you have to add 2 to get to 32 in order to get, and then there'd probably be some division realignment from there. You know.
I'm talking about like, do we have to worry like protect players and shit?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know.
Interesting.
Wasn't it
That
like
is
that, Murph?
interesting.
Wasn't
I
it a
think it
draft?
was.
Well,
with-
that's what the NHL did, yeah. But the NHL has
Yeah.
had kind of a lot of expansion teams, so like that was
Like
how they've always
Vegas.
done it. We'd have to look back and see when like the Rays came into the league, how that happened. But
yeah. Because like when the Vegas Golden Knights were a thing, I know me and Damon didn't.
Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, me and Damon didn't really care about hockey, so we declared ourselves Vegas Golden Knights. We just kind of wrote Golden Knights
And
on a
then they
Haynes white
won
T-shirt.
a Stanley
and then
Cup
they won
in
the Stanley
5 years.
Cup, to which we didn't watch a single game. But either way, I remember that there was protected players, and then there was just a pool of everybody who was
yeah, you
available
basically,
to
I
pick.
think NHL, you took one player from each team, and then each team could protect like, I think it was like 8 or 10 players, but really, you know, some older guys on bad contracts that were theoretically good might not have been worth bringing
Yeah.
in because like you can't get too stacked with the payroll in the NHL because it's a salary, it's a hard cap. with baseball, I think it'd be a little bit more complicated than that in terms of financially doing that.
Yeah.
But I
That'd
don't
be
know.
interesting. Would be interesting for sure. All right, that does it
Montreal
for
would
me.
also be cool. Sorry.
Montreal would be cool. I mean, they've been talking about doing that for like the Rays, even. So I think that would
Yeah,
be
but
kind
imagine they
of
brought the
nice to
Expos
do.
back. That'd be sick.
That's what I mean. That actually, now that you say that, Montreal and Nashville feel like the two answers.
What about London?
No,
No.
I hate
I'm
that. I hate that the NFL is
London,
trying
Texas,
to do that.
maybe.
Is it- I think is that a place?
Is it a place?
London,
I
Ontario.
think you're thinking of Lubbock, Texas.
No, I'm thinking of one.
They're American.
There's got to be
The
a London
Biloxi
in Texas.
Shuckers.
There's got to be everything. in Texas.
Biloxi Shuckers.
There is London, Ontario, though. We could do that.
The Biloxi Shuckers field is awesome. It's right next to the Beau Rivage if you're ever looking for some casino, golf, and baseball. Great place.
Sounds like a great time.
Hartford would be cool. But that would never happen.
No. The yard
Hartford,
goats.
Connecticut?
I don't know. They had an NHL team for a little while.
Well, Connecticut doesn't have any teams. Like they should.
There's a
I feel
reason
like
for
that's,
that.
There's a reason, yeah.
There-
Well,
It
I don't
sucks.
know about that. I like
It's a fucking
Connecticut.
terrible
We all
state,
went to
that's
school
why.
there. I don't know. Other than Chandler, we
no,
all
I'm
went to
just
school. I had a
thinking,
great
I'm
time in
thinking of
Connecticut.
cities that don't have a baseball team but had other teams or have had other
Thinking
teams.
of cities that
City?
just like
i.e.
don't
Nashville.
suck.
Yeah, Oklahoma City. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Green
just
Bay.
having like, there's like so many in states that already exist. I want a new state to get a team. Like, I mean, Florida has like how many fucking teams? New York has how many fucking
Yeah,
teams?
but
Like all
the
the
thing is that they're gonna die. Every one of those teams is in like the only real. I think the only two cities that could work are what we mentioned in Nashville, maybe Montreal, but they failed the first time, and then like,
Charlotte, Oklahoma
Charlotte. I
City.
think Charlotte could work as a Carolina team, and then Oklahoma City maybe.
yeah.
Oh, what about New Orleans?
I don't know.
New Orleans would be fun.
Orleans?
That was on the
That would
list
be-
for sure.
I don't want to
I
go to
could
a
see
game
that.
in New Orleans.
I think it'd be fun. You go for Mardi Gras, you catch a ball game. I don't know.
That'd be at
I don't
spring
think
training.
that logistically that'll work
that
out
would
as great
work.
as you think it
You eat some beignets. You go get a fucking oyster shot.
Go
What
get
was it called?
Stabbed on the way there.
Shooter.
Yeah,
It's
it
called
gets-
an oyster shooter.
Yeah, I got an oyster shooter. I went for seconds on that. It was so good. Everybody else that in my group did not want to have any, but it was
Yeah, it
delicious.
sounds like everybody in your group doesn't know what a good time is because
No,
oyster
they
shooters are fantastic.
They are. All right, that is enough. We got from Spencer Jones to oyster shooters. That's the general trend of our timeline of this podcast. So, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one. Hats off to us. We put out an episode when we were scheduled to. So, not looking for all the claps in the world, but just a few would be nice because it's tough.
Don't get
So
used to it.
Don't get used to it. All right, see you later.